The community in shock after that deadly mass shooting, targeting a celebration of
just the sound of gunfire just is terrorizing in such a lovely community as Monterey Park, where people are just loving and the lunar festival's going on. And
you have 10 unresponsive inside, and you have 2 that are still in critical condition and breathing.
Everybody's waiting. It's 10 hours. So where is gunman?
This shooting brings up questions about all our laws pertaining to gun safety.
It's definitely a wake-up call that many can do more, certainly California included, but other states as well, and the federal government.
All this happened Saturday at a ballroom dance studio called Star Dance in the city of Monterey Park, which is just east of Los Angeles. ABC 10 is in Monterey Park right now to bring you the very latest information.
So let's go ahead and check in with Monica Coleman. Monica, you're there at the scene. What can you tell us?
We are learning overnight, Bria, that the hunt for the gunman is finally over. They found him in a van, dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That is the same van he used to flee the scene of a second shooting that he caused in a town not too far from here. And I'm right in Monterey Park. Behind me is the ballroom where that first shooting took place. And also we are learning this morning that it was due to brave Samaritans around that more people were not injured. Take a look at this video. This is video of Monterey Park after the shooting. Crime scene tape. Investigators trying to pick up the pieces and put together really a timeline of how these events came to be. We're also learning this morning that the second shooting location, that's where Samaritans wrestled the weapon out of the 72-year-old gunman's hands. The Los Angeles County Sheriff says that the suspect was carrying a semi-automatic pistol with an extended magazine, and a second handgun was discovered in the van where the gunman was found dead. We must remember this shooting took place after the ending of a Lunar New Year celebration in a town where Asian culture is celebrated, and 65% of the people here identify as AAPI. Those who live here tell me it's hard to understand how a night that was supposed to be about life and prosperity turned into a nightmare.
So the places are locked down all around, and there are many policemen. I try to ask the people what's going on there, and they tell me that that's because of the festival. And I try to walk around the street, but the police said that I'm not allowed to go around the street because of the, he said that it's a crime scene.
When it comes to the victims, the coroner's office has not yet released the names, but we do know many of the victims are over the age of 50. And you have to remember, so many people are impacted by this shooting. When it comes to the victims, 20 people were hurt. 10 were shot and killed, another 10 wounded, several of them fighting for their lives this morning in the hospital. Walt, Bria.
Monica, I think you have a very unique perspective because you were in Uvalde for a week after that shooting, and now you're in Los Angeles right after this one. I hate to ask a generic question about what's the feeling there, but can you compare the two situations? And I know you're just into Los Angeles.
That's a great question, because when I arrived in Los Angeles County, I immediately felt what I felt in Uvalde, Texas. When I drove into Uvalde 8 months ago, I immediately felt the somber, the fear, the sorrow of the people that were living there, as the whole community was really just mourning the loss of the 21 people that were shot and killed by that gunman at Robb Elementary School. And here it was very similar, unfortunately. We drove into town and you can see all the storefronts with the Chinese and English symbols in the front, really showing the diverse community, but there is no really joy in the streets when this is supposed to be a holiday weekend. And that's all due to this gunman that took the lives of so many people and stripped them of their joy and happiness of the holidays. And also a big difference and similarity here is that at Robb Elementary School, majority of the people who were victims were children, right? So it was parents, it was adults who were mourning the lives of young people. Here it's kind of the flip, right? Because most of the victims are 50 and older, so it's their grandchildren, it's their kids who are mourning that loss and trying to figure out that grief. So it's very similar but different. And it's very unfortunate that these families are having to go through this same process of trying to pick up the pieces, figure out their new normal, and heal as a community. And I think it's important to note that this Lunar New Year represents the year of the rabbit. That symbol means empathy, but it also means a year of rest And we are hearing people in the community are praying and hoping that they can finally get that rest as they try to move forward and find some normalcy.
Yeah, in both situations that you've been covering, Monica, both situations are soft targets. You have the elementary school and certainly a celebration. So soft targets for both shooters in this situation. Monica Coleman in Los Angeles, we'll hear from you again in this newscast and again at 11. Thank you, Bria.
And also President Biden ordering flags at half-staff across the country to honor the victims.
It's not just for today. Flags are going to remain at half-staff until Thursday at sundown as a mark of respect for the victims of the senseless act of violence.